Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this year's AGM, which it is my pleasure to chair. The notice convening this meeting was printed on page 4 of the annual report and accounts for the year ended 31st of March 2025 and can be taken as read. I would now like to call the meeting to order and can confirm that it is quorate. The meeting is being broadcast live and a recording will be available via the RYA website and the RYA YouTube channel. Before we start the meeting, as you know, the RYA is celebrating its 150th anniversary. We would like to start by sharing a short video with you.
As we celebrate 150 years, we honour our roots and look ahead to the future. It all began in 1875 when Frank Willan and 34 visionaries founded the Yacht Racing Association, introducing the first standardized sailing rules. In 1888, we expanded to broader maritime issues, advocating for safer, freer access to the water. In 1904, Mrs. H.G. Allen became our first female member, promoting inclusivity. International recognition came with the 1908 Olympic Regatta and the introduction of UK's K sail numbers in 1920. In 1929, we showcased our commitment to evolving the sport with a comprehensive revision of sailing rules. In 1952, we became the Royal Yachting Association, and in 1956, the Duke of Edinburgh became president. By 1961, the RYA had 1,000 affiliated clubs and over 13,000 members. The 1970s brought our training programs and our debut at the London Boat Show, igniting public enthusiasm. The 1980s expanded our reach with windsurfing and motor cruising schemes. In 1987, Princess Anne became our president, continuing the royal family's connection with the RYA. In the 1990s, the MCA officially recognised the RYA Yachtmaster qualification for UK-flagged commercial vessels, enhancing RYA training's reputation and driving its growth globally. Sailability launched in 1996, breaking barriers for disabled sailors. And in 1997, lottery funding revolutionised British racing, fueling Olympic successes with icons like Sir Ben Ainslie, Hannah Mills and Giles Scott. Also in 2005, the Green Blue Initiative was launched, helping safeguard our coastal and inland waters. By 2010, RYA publications spanned 16 languages, reflecting our global reach. In 2012, we celebrated the London Olympics. In 2018, we delivered training in Mandarin across China and launched the Trinity House RYA Yachtmaster Scholarship to nurture future maritime professionals. In 2023, we hosted the Formula Kite Europeans in Portsmouth. Today, we champion sustainability with efforts to ensure cleaner waters and continue our inclusive mission with Together on Water. For 150 years, we've inspired and innovated, championing boating for all. With endless possibilities on the horizon, our journey continues.
Welcome back. I would like to thank those members who have submitted questions ahead of this meeting, some of which we will answer at the end. All submitted questions will receive written responses. I would also like to thank members for your advanced voting. Members were invited to vote online between the 5th and the 20th of November. All votes have been counted by UK Engage, our independent verifiers, and the results of the voting will be announced for each motion as the AGM proceeds. I'd now like to hand over to Chief Executive Officer, Sarah Sutcliffe.
Thank you, Michael. The first item on the agenda is to approve the minutes of the 2024 AGM, which was circulated in the spring 2025 edition of the RYA magazine. I can report that over 99% of the members who voted approved the minutes. The second item on the agenda is to receive the report of the board and the accounts to 31st of March 2025, together with the report of the auditor. I'd now like to hand over to Michael to give his formal chair's report.
Thank you, Sarah. It has been another busy and significant year for the association, one that holds special meaning for all of us. As you may know, 2025 marks the RYA's 150th anniversary, and it's been a pleasure to celebrate a century and a half of leadership, innovation, and passion for boating. Over the past year has been particularly rewarding to see our Together on Water strategy come fully to life. 2 years on from its launch, it is now firmly embedded in everything we do as an organisation. At the start of the year, we launched the Reflections on Water campaign, shining a light on the stories of people, progress, and opportunities connected to the UK's blue spaces to deliver our mission to ensure our waters are safe spaces for all. More recently, you may have seen the RYA in the headlines regarding the use of the phrase "man overboard." To be clear, our guidance has not changed. We continue to recommend the use of "man overboard" as it remains a universally recognised term deeply embedded in emergency procedures and safety training. This has never changed. At the same time, we recognise that language continually evolves, and our RYA Inclusive Language Guide, Modern Day Manners, was first published in 2023. It was created simply to offer a range of alternative terms for non-emergency situations where more inclusive language might feel appropriate. We have, however, been concerned by some of the reactions to this work. While we welcome healthy debate and differing views, it is never acceptable for our staff to face hostility or abuse. This will not be tolerated, and we will not apologise for our efforts to make boating a sport and pastime where everyone feels they belong. Our focus also remains on inspiring more people to learn, to explore, learn and grow through time spent on the water. This year, we proudly celebrated 20 years of RYA On Board, our flagship grassroots children's sailing programme. Since its creation 2 decades ago, with just 2 pilot centres, On Board has introduced more than 1.3 million children to the thrill of sailing and windsurfing, helping them to build confidence, develop skills, and forge friendships that last a lifetime. We have also advanced the RYA Pathway Evolution, supporting our mission to make youth and junior racing more affordable, accessible, and engaging, while enhancing the performance of aspiring young British sailors. From grassroots to high performance, last December, we welcomed the announcement from UK Sport that the RYA's World Class programme will receive a 7% increase in funding for the next 4 years. This includes targeted investment in key areas such as the Youth Talent Pathway and performance innovation, a reflection of confidence in our long-term vision. Our attention is firmly on Los Angeles 2028, which we are already laying the foundations for future Olympic success. In the meantime, members of our British sailing team have continued to reach podium places at major world and European championships, achievements of which we can all be very proud. As chair, one of the greatest privileges of this role is meeting the many volunteers whose time, talent and passion have shaped and strengthened the RYA. You are the backbone of our sport. Without you, so much of what we achieve simply would not be possible. So my heartfelt thanks go to every one of you. The unique power of our community has never been more visible than at our connected events and conferences, which bring together affiliates and networks from across the country to share ideas, exchange knowledge, and help our sport continue to thrive. It is also wonderful to see such enthusiasm at the much-loved RYA Dinghy and Watersports Show, which in February drew nearly 9,000 visitors across 3 stages and 175 exhibitor stands. The event was once again inspired, informed, and celebrated all that makes our community so special. Finally, I would like to express my sincere thanks to the board and the members of our committees for their dedicated support and their invaluable expertise, and to all the RYA staff for their hard work and unwavering commitment throughout the year. And on behalf of us all, I want to recognise and thank our President, Her Royal Highness the Princess Royal, for her continued support and guidance, and for attending many events on our behalf, championing the values and the work of the Association. That concludes my statement to the AGM. I would now like to invite Chief Executive Officer Sarah Sutcliffe to give her formal report.
Thank you, Michael, and good morning. As the RYA marks its 150th anniversary, it has been an extraordinary year to reflect on our heritage. Few organisations can look back on a century and a half of shaping a boating community as vibrant as ours, and even fewer can look forward with such excitement about what's still to come. Membership remains at the heart of everything we do, and it has been a real pleasure to meet so many of our supportive members throughout this year. Your commitment and engagement continue to strengthen the RYA's voice and purpose. Ensuring that your collective voice is heard remains one of our most important responsibilities. We've continued to build on our strong relationships with government, both locally and nationally, to safeguard our freedom to navigate and our right to cruise, protecting recreational boating from unnecessary regulation and unjustifiable costs. On your behalf, our External Affairs team has been extremely active, responding to more than 350 consultations in 2025 alone, covering everything from marine licensing to harbour revision orders. In April, the Terrorism Protection of Premises Act 2025, also known as Martin's Law, received royal assent. The RYA had worked closely with the Sport and Recreation Alliance to ensure that legislation remains proportionate and practical, particularly for smaller clubs and venues. We're pleased that several of our recommendations have been adopted. We've also represented our networks through consultation and direct engagement with the MCA on the new Sport or Pleasure Vessel Code of Practice. Through the Industry Technical Working Group, we've called for key changes and driven meaningful improvements. Our sector exists because of a shared passion for the beauty and the freedom that the water gives us. And that makes it impossible for us to ignore the pressures the environment faces. This year, we celebrated 20 years of the RYA Green Blue, and it's been inspiring to reflect on how the programme has led the way in promoting environmental sustainability across boating. Looking ahead, the RYA itself is also evolving. A big part of our strategy has been about building strong foundations for a sustainable future and making sure that we lead by example. That means living the values we promote across our community, strengthening our work on EDI, safeguarding, and cybersecurity education, whilst also reducing our own environmental impact. We're also proud to represent hundreds of thousands of recreational water users through the Clean Water Sports Alliance, which continues to work with government ministers, water companies, and policymakers to champion year-round water monitoring, recognition of all recreational users, and faster action on pollution. In an open letter to the Alliance, the DEFRA Minister for Water and Flooding hailed the 11 national governing bodies for their tireless advocacy and their vital role in driving efforts to clean up our waterways. This is a fantastic example of what we can achieve through collaboration. As the name of our strategy reminds us, together on water, we are determined to keep making progress, working together. Finally, we could not continue our vital work without the support of our stakeholders and partners, the RYA board, our incredible volunteers and credential holders both on and off the water, and of course, all our dedicated RYA employees. Thank you all for your continued support, passion and belief in what we do for you. That concludes my report, Michael.
Thank you, Sarah. I would now like to invite Dave Strain, Finance Director, to summarise the auditor's report and to report on the annual accounts for the year ended 31st of March 2005.
Thank you, Michael. Good morning, everyone. Firstly, I would like to summarise the audit opinion. In the opinion of our new auditors, Crowe LLP, the financial statements give a true and fair view of the state of the company's affairs as at 31st of March 2025 and of its deficit for the year then ended. They have been properly prepared in accordance with United Kingdom generally accepted accounting practice and have been prepared in accordance with the requirements of the Companies Act 2006. During the year ended 31st of March 2025, our income continued to grow. Non-grant income grew by over 3%. Event income reduced as the prior year included one-off income from the Kite Euros, but subscription income grew by 8%, and this growth has mainly been achieved from domestic activity. Following a record-breaking year last year, we once again achieved record income from our key examination schemes, whilst income from publication sales was again similar overall to the prior year. We continue to receive support from UK Sport, and we are grateful to them and Sport England for their financial contribution to the work of the RYA. Their continued investment arising from both the National Lottery and Exchequer funding cannot be understated. In other areas, our investment income remained high, and although not reflected in these accounts as the final lease was signed at the end of the financial year, our investment property is now fully tenanted for the first time in more than 10 years. This additional yield is reflected in the £30,000 increase in the valuation of the investment property. It is important for members to be aware that we plan to make a deficit again in this financial year, as was the case in 2023 to 2024. This was a strategic decision by the board, driven by the need to continue to invest and make progress with our online presence. We have been tasked by the board with making a return to an operating surplus for the year ended 31st of March 2026, and we are on track to achieve this. The environment within which we operate remains challenging. We need to continue to modernise and evolve, and we need to be better at promoting the activity we all love and to make more of our successes to increase our visibility. Our members, our participants, and the nature of membership are all changing, and we also have to adapt whilst accommodating an increasing cost base driven by external economic factors. As we adapt, employment numbers and employment costs continue to rise, and we, like many of our members, have had to manage rising national insurance costs as a result of changes implemented on the 1st of April 2024. The surplus shown on the RYA Retirement Benefit Scheme grew again this year, rising from £76,000 in 2023 to almost £350,000 last year, and it's now almost £430,000. The board retained the opinion that this will not be recoverable in the future, and it has not been recognised as an asset in the statement of financial position. Our overall deficit for the year was £670,000. Members' funds therefore reduced to £6.2 million. We do, however, remain in a strong financial position, ending the year with cash balances in the region of £3.7 million. We all continue to recognise the scale of the challenge that lies ahead if we are to successfully implement our strategy Together on Water and to make the most of the opportunities that we can currently see for sailing and boating. With your continued support, we look forward to grasping the opportunities that lie ahead. Thank you. That concludes my report. I can confirm that no questions on the accounts were submitted by members in advance, and I would therefore like to propose that the report and accounts be approved.
I can confirm that over 99% of the votes that were received were in favour, so the accounts for 2024-2025 are therefore formally approved.
Thank you. The third item on the agenda is to elect the President for the ensuing year. Sarah, may I ask you please to take this item?
Thank you. There is only one candidate for President, Her Royal Highness the Princess Royal, who has expressed her willingness to continue to serve in office. I would therefore like to propose that the motion be adopted and I can report that 97% of the votes received online were in favour of Her Royal Highness's reappointment as President of the RYA.
Thank you. Item 4. Last year, the Audit and Risk Committee appointed new auditors, Crowe LLP, for the year 2024 to 2025, with their remuneration to be set by the board. Sarah.
I can confirm that Crowe LLP have been reappointed for 2025-2026 with the remuneration to be set by the board. With 98% of the votes received in favour of the motion, it has therefore been passed.
Before I move to item 5, I would like to take this opportunity to thank the following volunteer board members, committee and regional chairs who have recently retired from their positions. They are Misha Engineer, Senior Independent Director and Member of the Board, Phil Aspey, Chair of External Affairs. My iPad has just died, so excuse me whilst I get a sheet of paper. Yeah, Phil Aspey, Chair of External Affairs and the Cruising Committee, Chris Davies, Regional Chair for the South West, Mike Samuelson, Regional Chair for the South, Stephen Tinsley, Chair of the English Regions Forum, Judy Lambourne, Chair for the Midlands Region, Fiona Barron, Tribunal Chair, and Susan McKnight, Chair of RYA Northern Ireland. We are also pleased to announce that Duncan Rutherford and Corinne Cunningham have been re-elected for a second term, each receiving 96% of votes in favour. Both Duncan and Corinne have demonstrated exceptional commitment and made significant contributions to the work of the board, and I'm delighted that they will now each serve a second term. Now on to item 6. The board wish to notify the membership that they have appointed a new independent director, Cole Agbede, with effect from today's date. Further details will appear shortly on the RYA website. That brings me to item 7, any other business and Q&A. This is a long-standing item to invite our members to ask questions. Thank you to everyone who submitted questions. We've received a couple on the topic of inclusion, and as you will have heard earlier, our work in this area remains a core priority for us. If you have submitted a question, you'll receive a written response after the meeting. We have received a question on the new MCA code, safety of small vessels for commercial use for sport and pleasure, and Sarah is going to answer this question.
Thank you, Michael. So from the end of this year, new regulations from the MCA, small commercial vessels used for sport or pleasure, will begin a phased introduction following their submission to Parliament this week. Those affected by the changes will no doubt be aware that the MCA have been developing this code for the past few years. And it is important to recognise that the scope of those who are required to comply with the code has not changed. Our priority has been to directly engage with the MCA through their technical working group and our key relationships to ensure that the updated requirements strengthen safety standards without placing any unwarranted burden on the sector. There will no doubt be areas that require clarification as the range of vessels under the existing codes transfer to the new code. As with any new legislation, we welcome that there will be a phased introduction for various elements. You can find out more details on our website. However, we also recommend that if you do have concerns, that you contact your certifying authority directly, who will be able to help give you advice on any specifics for your vessel or operations.
We've also received questions on the Reflections on Water survey to ask why this has been created. Again, Sarah will answer.
Thank you. The Reflections on Water survey has been created to help us build the most complete and accurate picture of life on the water in the UK. It's our largest open survey to date, and it's designed to understand every part of the boating and sailing experience, from local grassroots activity through to professional pathways. Thank you to everyone who has completed it so far. It is still live for another couple of weeks. By gathering insight on what's working well and what isn't, and where change is most needed, the survey will guide how we shape future initiatives, opportunities, and investment. Ultimately, the aim is to ensure that sailing and boating continue to grow and thrive. The survey has been developed in partnership with the Sport and Recreation Alliance, and we know it's more detailed than previous surveys and it may not be perfect, but it represents the RYA's first major effort to capture this level of insight. And what we learn from this inaugural survey will help us improve and refine the process in future years. Thank you.
Thank you. That brings our Q&A to a close. I'd like to thank all of our members for their attendance and for your questions today. I now declare the AGM closed, but we are intending to show you another video as we all depart. Thank you.
It starts with a single drop, a moment, an idea, a passion. But like all drops, it doesn't remain alone for long. 150 years ago, a small group of sailors came together with a shared love for the water. What began as a single drop soon became a ripple, a wave, spreading across the sea. Since 1875, the Royal Yachting Association has been the anchor for our community, setting the standards and nurturing a love for the sea that spans generations. Our boats may have changed, our knowledge may have deepened, but the water remains constant. Over the last 150 years, we've navigated change, always helping you move forward with your boating. From slow cruising on canals, to fast-paced foiling, from racing to socializing with friends and family, and from the first Olympic sailing events in 1900 to the gold medals of today, we've helped you explore the boundaries of what's possible on the water. And we're not finished yet. We're continuing to build a connected, inspired, and inclusive community to bring more people to boating. The water will witness our boldest dreams, our greatest innovations. It will remain our partner as we strive to preserve and protect it for generations to come. 150 years of history, passion, and innovation in the same water that continues to inspire us today. From a single drop to a boundless ocean, our journey continues as we continue together on water.